Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here with YoVideogames, and I'm back with another video. This time, not quite a movie review, but a movie ranking video, something a little different. The dudes, we all just saw Predator Badlands about a day ago, and there will probably be a actual official formal review forthcoming from that. This is not that formal official review. This is a Predator ranking, film franchise ranking from yours truly. Because, hey, this is the perfect time to do it, talk about it, so let's just get right to it. And let's talk about, there's 9 Predator movies. Like, it's sad that we couldn't stretch to 10. I couldn't make it a top 10 because there just isn't 10, and there's not even enough to really squeeze that out. Like, we're already kind of like stretching because one of them is a direct to streaming movie, but like otherwise it's like, yeah, we'll go with top 9 until there's a 10th, and there will be a 10th eventually. I'm pretty sure that's already in the works. But anyways, let's go with the bottom up. The absolute worst Predator movie of all time. Number 9, The Predator. Holy God. This one actually kind of hurts because it should have been so much better. You had Shane Black from the original Predator movie, who was a star in it, and he's made many of his own great films, like The Nice Guys. I even enjoyed Iron Man 3 and amongst his other big ones, and this should have been a slam dunk, but it's the worst. It had a troubled development. The entire third of the movie was completely changed. The whole last act of this film was supposed to take place in Area 51. There was going to be multiple Predators joining up with human military to take on one big super Predator. That all got cut, removed, and then replaced with just another shitty third act. And I mean, I'm not even going to go into all the details because I don't really need to talk about why this movie is terrible from the get-go, but terrible CGI for the big Predator, just an absolutely stupid ass plot about some sort of mercenary or soldier who finds a Predator mask on a mission, and he sends it home to his son, to wear for Halloween. And the Predators want to genetically splice his son's DNA because apparently autism unlocks the key to superpowers. I'm not kidding you. This is the plot of The Predator. It's garbage. It is a terrible movie. I will never watch this thing again as long as I live. Just cringe performances across the board, even from a bunch of actors who should be better, but again, the script is just mind-bogglingly dumb. Everything about this movie just kind of sucks. So yeah, if you ever were hey, I want to see The Predator, be warned. When you go on Hulu and you see Predator and The Predator, stay away from The is the bad one. The is the terrible one. Just never watch this film. It's garbo. And number 8 is significantly better than The Predator, but it ain't good. And it's Alien versus Predator, the first one, the Paul Anderson. I had a tough time deciding which of these two disappointing creature feature team up or showdown movies was worse, but in the end, it kind of fell down to, okay, one has good effects and good action, and the other has a much better setting. But does setting make a movie? Because none of them have really great performances. None of them have good scripts. In the end, I just went with, okay, I think Alien versus Predator, while much better than The Predator, I put that below Requiem, and mainly the reason being that it's a movie where the Predators are surprisingly really weak. They look really bad effects wise. Props, I guess, to Paul Script Anderson for at least going with practical effects. I appreciate the sentiment, but he went cheapo by getting it was some European company to do the Predator suits, and they look terrible. And honestly, if you were going to go practical, when you should have fought way harder to keep Stan Winston involved, because he was still with us when the first AVP was made, and I know he was a little bummed that they didn't get to do AVP, and it was a huge mistake. I mean, honestly, I would have, if I'm making Alien versus Predator, And I go to say, hey, we got to get Stan Winston Studios in here. They made the Xenomorph for Aliens. They made Predator for Predator 1 and 2. We got to have them. They've got to be involved with this. They made the Queen, for God's sakes. And Fox comes back and says, that they cost too much money. We're going to go with someone cheaper. I would fucking walk. I would not want my name associated with an Alien or Predator movie where they didn't get Stan Winston Studios when you had the ability. I would have just fucking walked. So yeah, the Predators look bad in this movie, and they kind of like are shown as like completely incompetent without their shoulder cannons. Like they try to have this big fight scene where a Predator like wrestling matches throws a Xenomorph into a bunch of stone pillars or whatever. But like the whole thing comes off as a little like, wow, Xenomorphs are like way too good in this movie. And yeah, the plot is okay. Like I like the idea that okay, there's a hidden pyramid temple buried beneath the ice in Antarctica, and predators used to come to this planet, to basically hunt and train, and they would hunt xenomorphs. There's a lot. It kind of raises more questions than answers when you really think too hard about it. But the setting is kind of neat, going and getting people like Lance Henriksen to be, Charles Wayland and stuff. There's fun stuff in the movie. It's all very fan servicey, but it is Alien vs Predator. But at the end of the day, the effects are bad. The story is merely okay. And it doesn't really do anything to further the franchise one way or the other. And you have a bunch of humans in a film, and it's Alien vs. Predator, and it's PG-13. So you get a very sanitized, bloodless. The kills are nowhere near what the kills need to be. Like it's just wasted potential. Speaking of wasted potential, number 7, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. This is the direct follow-up from the last movie. It happens immediately as the last movie ended, where a Preda-Alien comes out of Scar at the end of AVP, and it crash lands in a Chicago small town. And the Preda-Alien comes out and wreaks all kinds of havoc. And then a distress signal is automatically sent back to the Predator homeworld, and the Wolf Predator basically goes to do cleanup. So the plot is bad, and the setting is bad. And the original script for this is actually the worst script I've ever seen in my life. The Strauss brothers, who took over the film, they try to basically mend the film as best they can. This film originally ended with a bunch of teenagers in a Walmart grabbing a bunch of hunting rifles and killing the Predator from Walmart hunting rifle section. I am not kidding you. That's how this film script originally went. Worst goddamn script I've ever seen. So luckily, they didn't go with that. Like the directors, the Strauss brothers, when they came in, they actually tried to fix up as much as this fuck-awful script as they could. But you can't really save it because, again, it's a Predator. You got a Predator hunting aliens and a Preda-Alien in a small rural like Chicago mountain town, and just the human characters are the absolute fucking worst. Except maybe the sheriff, maybe like the main military dude coming back, home on leave. Like maybe they're okay at best, but like everyone, there's so many other humans around them, and they all fucking suck. It's nice to see some of these dumb characters get killed like brutally because this is an R-rated film and they go nuts. They also go like way too far with being like shock value. Like they do a thing where like a Preda-Alien like mouth impregnates a pregnant woman and a bunch of little Preda-Alien babies come like burst out of her gut, and it's like, this is just stupid. Like it's not even offensive. It's not like scary. It's just like, that's dumb. Like they just, okay, whatever, dude. Like trying to make, like, you're making a fucking movie here. You're not making a Universal Halloween Horror Nights maze, with a bunch of little like, oh, pop around the corner, there's a big scary thing. Anyways, the effects are good. The Predator is the best looking Predator since Predator 2. Since the Stan Winston Predator. So you've got that going for it. You have a very, very good-looking Predator costume. You have good-looking xenomorphs. The Preda-Alien doesn't even look too bad either. And yeah, it culminates in an insane slam bang finish. And the thing I have to mention, again, why this film kind of just sucks beyond just the setting and plot and the human actors is it is weirdly dark. Like you can watch the behind the scenes on the DVD, and the film wasn't shot nearly as dark as it turns out. They apparently darkened the contrast of the film in post and made this film like almost impossible to tell what's going on. The only reason I can think of is that they thought, oh, practical effects. they look bad in lighting. So let's just cover everything in darkness so people don't know it's dudes in suits. And it's kind of like, man, fuck you. Like, we like the dudes in suits. And Predator and Alien, the Xenomorph and the Predator are like two of the best costumed monster movie creatures ever created. They look legit. Like, especially, again, you have a good-looking Predator, good-looking Xenomorphs, and you don't need to worry about covering them in darkness. It was really dumb. The post-processing color tinting on this film is insane, and it brings down an already not great film. So, I guess at the end of the day, for the kills, the gore, the good effects, I slightly nudge Requiem over AVP, but I mean they kind of just sit there at the bottom of the list, and fuck them. Number 6. I kind of personally enjoy more than most people, and that's Predators, plural. The film, the weird film with Adrian Brody getting all jacked. I think the concept is solid. It's a reversal a little bit of the first Predator movie. It's about a bunch of big time killers, soldiers, mercenaries, gang members, people like just the worst of the worst, all get captured by predators and thrown into a game preserve homeworld where the predators hunt them. So it's like, you like going out in the wild, capturing a tiger, putting it in a game preserve, and then having hunters go out and hunt the tiger on their own. So I think the concept is okay. It's actually not bad. There's some pretty good shots in this movie. But I like it, but the problem kind of is that the people that get killed off are people who should have been in the movie longer, and the people who stay till the end, who survive till the end, are the people that you don't care about. Like, they try to pull this weird twist with Topher Grace as, oh, he's a bad guy, but what does he do? Oh, he's a doctor, he's a surgeon who enjoys accidentally killing his patients. And it's like, why would the Predators be sitting there monitoring a surgeon's, procedures, all day long as he slowly poisons and kills people on an operating table? Oh my God, like, why would they care? That just seems so out of character for the Predators to do. And again, like, his whole thing where he's like, oh, I like being, a monster or whatever. Like, his twist at the end just kind of comes off as like, this is dumb. Like, he should have died right away. And Danny Trejo should have survived way longer. The other thing is that Lawrence Fishburne is in the movie too, and he's supposed to be a character who's been dumped in this preserve years ago, but he survived, and he kind of lives in the shadows, just kind of roaming around, surviving off the land. And his character's a little weird. It feels like lost potential. It feels like they could have done more with his character, because they immediately show him as like, he's already a little unhinged, but then he immediately goes insane and then tries to kill all the other characters. And then just gets killed off really quickly. It's just weird. But positive points to the movie. I like the Falconeer Predator. I think his design is super cool. I do like seeing more Predator styles. This was kind of like one of the first movies where we really saw different types of predators that use hunting dogs or alien hunting dogs, predators that use falcons, stuff like that. I like that aspect of it. We also saw that there was rifts between different predator clans or tribes, and that's pretty cool. I like that stuff. But yeah, admittedly, the human characters aren't very strong. Adrian Brody tries his best, but yeah, ultimately, like, most of the cast is like, they could have been better, and I feel like they killed off the more interesting characters too soon. But we got some pretty cool showdown scenes. The Yakuza versus the Falconeer is a personal favorite of mine. I think it looks cool. But yeah, the other Predator costumes don't look super great, and that's kind of like the big problem with the film, is that, yeah, like most of the other Predator costumes don't really live up to the standard of the series. So yeah, you kind of gotta like grin and bear it. I know that's a big like sore point for a lot of Predator fans, and I understand. But I like this movie. I think it's okay. I think it's pretty good. I think this is like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 kind of film. Like, not terrible. Nothing to rush out and go watch, but if it was on and you had hours to kill or whatever, sure, go for it. Now we're into my top 5, and this is actually way harder for me than I thought it was going to be, because 2, 3, 4, 5 could interchange depending on my mood on the day of the week. So if you're going to get preemptively, if you're going to get upset at the ranking of these films, just know that I literally could change it. They could all be tied for second place if it makes you feel better. These all kind of like, most of these are of the same quality. Number 5 is Predator 2. This is the goofy Predator movie, but it is Stan Winston Studios Predator. It looks phenomenal. It's the best the Predator has ever looked. It's still probably the best effects. Like as far as like visual on-screen Predator, he's never looked better than in Predator 2, and that's even with the newest movie. Like just absolute peak practical effects, Stan Winston. And we get to see more stuff. We get to see, the throwing disc. We get to see the Predator spear. We get to see multiple Predators too. We even get to tease at that. And we get to see a look at their spaceship at the end and stuff. Just a really fun movie. But its only real fault is that there's nothing surprising in this movie. It's Predator in L.A. Okay, it's like, so the first Predator is in the jungle, Predator 2 is in the city, and it's kind of just doing the same beats. So unfortunately, you're kind of watching a movie where you already know what's going to happen. This is sort of like a curse of slasher movies in general, where it's like once you've established who the killer is and how they operate, there's really no surprises left. The beginning of the movie is just complete cheese on cheese. It is cheese covered fries cheese. Like there's this gang war shootout in downtown LA, and with Danny Glover as the chief of police, and he rides all literally shotgun into this big shootout, and at the end of it he uncovers a Predator on the top of a building, and it disappears in front of him, and he doesn't know what he saw, and it's like, unfortunately, we know what's going on. We know the Predator cloaks. We know the Predator hunts. We know the Predator, makes trophies of men. So the whole time of Danny Glover and his crew trying to figure out who's this big bad killer tearing up all the gangs in LA, it's like we know, and we know what he's doing, and we know why he's doing it. So there's really the only problem. But that being said, this movie is full of dumb quotable quotes. And, a lot of that has helped, in fact, because you got Bill Paxton in the film. So he shows up in Aliens, shows up in Predator 2, gets killed by both, also gets killed by a Terminator. Him and Lance Henriksen, one of few actors who've gotten the trifecta of getting killed by some of the three greatest 80s movie monsters. But yeah, Bill Paxton's in the movie. He's great, as always, but sadly doesn't get anywhere near as much time to shine as Hudson and Aliens, unfortunately. But it is a fun movie, and the costume design is wild. What passes for detectives and police are kind of silly looking. Yes, we can all, like, a moment of silence for Danny Glover's pants in that movie. And then you have a completely cracked out of his mind Gary Busey, who delivers every line on probably the same amount of cocaine he sniffed before the take. And it's pretty great, like he's fun, he's stupid. He plays like a crazy CIA or FBI guy. I forget which department, doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just cracked out of his mind Gary Busey and a Predator with great effects. It's just a fun time. It's a stupid movie. It's a cheesy movie, but it's pure. It's just pure pulp. And it's a lot of fun. Which is why it's kind of a movie you can kind of watch whenever. Just all the weird, random, quotable quotes, and just all the insane, like, just characters chewing the scenery. And it's pretty great if you want that. If you want a serious take or a scary take on Predator, this isn't your movie. This is a movie that kind of almost knows, like, we're not scaring you, so we're just gonna have a bunch of weird, crazy, gory, cheesy setups. And then number 4, I'm not going to talk too much about it because we're going to get into it probably more right now. I don't really know, I don't know where to place all these. Number 4 right now, I'm sitting at Predator Badlands. Another great Predator movie by Dan Trachtenberg. This one is giving me, I'll not say too much, but this gives me what I've wanted for a long time. I wanted a Predator movie in the future. I wanted a Predator movie that felt like it was based off some of those classic Dark Horse comics. And we finally got that. It's a really good time. It's Predator on Savage Planet. We're following a Predator as a main character, and it's different. And I like that. I like the different angle about it. I like that it's not Earth. It's not doing a repeat. It's very good in that sense. Elle Fanning is kind of like the sore spot a little bit. Initially, the character is written very specifically to be kind of annoying, and they are annoying, and I feel like they almost drag the movie down a little bit, but their character kind of goes through some shit. They pull together by the end, but yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. But yeah, if you enjoyed like the world of Pandora and Avatar, this would actually be kind of a fun time, because it's like a hyper vicious, way more like crazy violent version of Pandora. So a lot of cool like creature feature effects, a lot of cool alien designs. It is pretty much a CGI fest, and I'm not a huge fan of Deck's Predator design, though he is designed to be small and runt and weird looking. But yeah, I do still kind of miss the Stan Winston look of the Predator. So it's still a good time. It's definitely the breath of fresh air I think the franchise could use, needed. I very much happy we didn't get another The Predator, because my God, like that could have been the franchise's future if that film was successful. But yeah, I would say if you like Predator lore, if you want to see the lore behind the Yautja, you want to see the lore behind the creature itself, and how their society works, go see Predator Badlands. If you're one of the people who are if you're like, I'm not interested in Predator lore, I don't care about Predator hierarchy or whatever, okay, this movie may not be for you. If you like the Predator, if you like your Predator as a scary slasher villain, this is the demystifying movie. But if you're into like the whole alien hyper sci-fi, crazy alien world stuff, this is a great movie for you. So there's that. Number 3, I guess for now, is Killer of Killers. I'm going to be biased here. I'm a historical buff guy. I enjoy history stuff, and I think the first Predator movie, as great, it presents a great setting scenario. And one of the things I think Predator works really well is, rather than just, well, we put a Predator in a city, which Predator 2 does, or put a Predator over here, or Predator over there. How about put Predator in different time periods and see how the people of different eras with the different technology and the different weapons available to them, how they overcome dealing with a Predator in different eras. And I'm a sucker for that, because I think that's inherently a lot more fascinating than just putting him in different, biomes. So Killer of Killers is an anthology movie where we get 3 different takes of predators going hunting humans throughout time. They do actually have a culminating point where they do come together. There is a 4th part of this 3-part movie, and it all comes together pretty cool. And I actually generally enjoy it. Just the setup. I think the setup is very cool. The animation kind of fluctuates between being really awesome and then sometimes being a little stiff, a little jank. Again, I don't think this had a huge budget. So yeah, as a CG animated film, it's pretty good. It definitely goes for that arcane, sort of Spider-Verse almost kind of vibe, where we're trying to make like a comic book style CG rather than trying to make like Pixar. So works well for it. And it's a brutal film. They don't pull any punches. It's a violent film. People are going to get stabbed, impaled, beheaded, stuff like that. So yeah, you are seeing a violent R-rated Predator movie in Killer of Killers, even though it is animated. But it works really well. And it's definitely something where it's like, okay, this film might have cost $100 or $200 million to make in live action, like Badlands cost $100 million. But here it probably costs significantly less, because it's pure animated. We don't have to go on location. You don't have to build sets. You don't have to build props. Which is not to downplay the animators' role, and animators do deserve to get paid way more than they do. But it also makes for a very cohesive film, and that's something you can't say for a lot of Predator movies beyond 1 and 2, is that the cohesive look of things. This is a film where, because it's all animated, everything feels like it's in world. There's no like, oh, that looks bad, or oh, that CG is rough, which you get even in Predator Badlands. There's a little fun little mascot creature, and boy to howdy does that fucking thing look CG as fuck. Being an all animated film, you actually get a very cohesive vision, and it works, and I like it, and I would like to see more of this, and I could see, and I wouldn't mind seeing more anthology films of other people throughout different periods of history. So I'm, as a history guy, as a Predator fan, yeah, this movie kind of feels a little tailored. That is bias seeping through, but it is what it is. I like Killer Killers. It's a really good time. I would recommend it. It's on Hulu. Play it. Just check it out whenever you get the chance. It's definitely top tier Predator material. Speaking of top tier Predator material, number 2 for me is Prey. Prey was sort of like, oh my God, we're so fucking back kind of Predator movie, because since the first one, it's been a sort of rocky up and down of varying quality, of like good to like bad to really, really bad. And Prey was like, finally, oh my God, finally a film that's good. So this one, another historical setting. So yeah, my bias is going to sort of seep in there. Where we see it's about the Comanche warriors in pre-American history, so somewhere around the early 1700s or so, I think. And yeah, a specific type of different style predator comes to Earth to hunt, and is basically up to the main character Naru, who basically takes the role of Dutch, or Danny Glover's character, and she is like the lone survivor of her tribe that actually has to take on this predator and kill it. Very good film. One thing it does a very good job of is actually making you really give a shit about the characters. That's something that like a lot of Predator movies don't really do. Like Predator 1 is like, you've got a cast of cartoon characters that are all very unique and stand out, and yeah, they all get picked off one by one, and then there were none. And Prey kind of follows a similar route a bit, but Prey is different, where it's not like, hey, here's this hunting party. There's actually a unique dynamic within the tribe and the main character Naru and her role in the tribe. And if anything, the one thing I wish Prey did more of, I wish Prey actually had more time focusing on the Comanche and their and basically their inner tribe stuff, like, because they are vicious. Like, it's such a perfect thing to have this Native American tribe and this and this fictional predator fighting each other, because these are two, like, some of the most vicious warriors ever, from human beings going up against the predator, like one of the most vicious movie monsters, and it's a perfect showdown between the two. Just as much, if not more, than a big muscle-bound Arnold in the first Predator movie. So, absolutely love the setting. I just wish there was more Native American stuff, which is crazy to say. Like, if anything, that's a testament to how good this movie is. Where I'm watching a Predator movie, and I wish there was actually even more stuff about the human side of it. So that is like watching a Godzilla film and saying, like, I wish there was more human drama. So that is why Prey works so well, is that you care about the human side, and you're interested in the human side. And then there's this, and they do smartly too by not hyper fixating too much on the predator itself. Like, it is back to being scary, by the way. Like, you see early on in the film, you see the main character now she's getting attacked by a bear, and that's terrifying enough as it is. And then a predator fucks up this bear, and we're back to scary predators again. So, if anything, a huge accomplishment here was that you took a character where we know what it is, we know what it does, we know how it works, and they still somehow make it scary again. So. This was definitely, I think, if nothing else, this is probably easily the second best Predator movie is Prey, because interesting setting, interesting human characters you wish you actually knew more about, and then we made the Predator scary again. Not a huge fan of the design of the Predator, but I also appreciate that it's trying to be very different. It's trying to be a more cold weather, cold environment Predator than the other ones that we're used to that are all heat based. I don't think his design I don't really love the design, but I appreciate that they went for something different. And then, as far as the actual CG prosthetics of it, it's not Stan Winston. That's all I'll really say there. And then, of course, leading into number one, obviously the first Predator movie, just a sort of perfect encapsulation of a horror film of characters getting picked off one by one. One of the things that's kind of nice about the film is, like, it opens with a spaceship landing on Earth, but then the next half hour or more of the film, you forget this is a sci-fi film, because it's all about just these mercenaries going into the jungles of well, it was filmed in Mexico. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be the jungles of southern Mexico, or if that's just where that's where they filmed it anyways. Anyways, they're there. They're trying to do like this big bust. Arnold's mercenary group gets basically duped by Carl Weathers, and there's a little bit of human drama there. And then, after they successfully complete their mission of taking out these guerrillas, and I mean guerrilla army fighters, not actual guerrillas. There's no guerrillas in Central or South America. They start getting picked off one by one by this otherworldly creature. And the setup is simple and effective, and it works. And probably one of the most funny things to me was realizing, if you go back in time and you look at the movie reviews from the 80s when the first Predator movie came out, critics hated this movie. They thought it was awful and dumb. And they're like, there's no depth. And the thing is, I think we sometimes it's funny to me. Like I don't think you necessarily needed a movie about death. It's a movie about people getting picked off one by one, and there's just as much depth as you want. Like all these people are all trying to out alpha each other. Jesse Ventura doesn't have time to bleed, stuff like that. Like everyone's trying to be the biggest and the baddest, person there. Bill Duke is fucking great, and Carl Weathers, and their sort of like rivalry or the anger where Bill Duke confronts Carl Weathers about making too much noise and stuff like that, and it's all fucking great. And they all, fuck poor fucking Billy, who we sadly didn't get enough of in the movie. If anything, my biggest complaint with the film is I would have liked to have seen Billy's death, but c'est la vie, I guess. Anyways, and then like the last act of Arnold alone without his weapons, without his tech, having to take on this thing mano a mano, it's just fucking great. Kevin Peter Hall, the original Predator in 1 and 2. Just absolutely phenomenal character performance from him. The Stan Winston Studios, who came in last fucking second when the original movie studio or the original effects studio, when they were super late on getting their Predator costume made, and then when they made it, it looked fucking terrible. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be the Predator, and he bailed on the movie. And then there was this emergency call, like Arnold remembered, hey, I worked with Stan Winston on the Terminator 1. This guy's good. Let's give him a call. And then Stan Winston got the call to make the Predator. And then while he had to make it very quickly with the whole studios. And then James Cameron had input on the design. So that's where the mandibles came from. Yes, that James Cameron on a plane trip to Japan was sitting next to Stan Winston and said, I've never seen a creature with mandibles. I want you to give him and Stan's like, oh, that seems like kind of a neat idea. And Stan gave it mandibles. And that is how the Predator was designed, through this emergency phone call from a suggestion from Arnold to get Stan Winston on board, and then a little bit of input from James Cameron. And lo and behold, we have one of the greatest Predator, one of the greatest movie monster designs ever. And even though it was you couldn't even tell this was a rush job to get that costume, because Kevin Peter Hall looks so fucking good in the thing, and the whole costume just looks phenomenal. So just one of the best like 80s action sci-fi horror movies ever. It's lightning in a bottle. Obviously the best, not going to be repeated, but I do think this is a phenomenal film. You can start watching the film at any point and be entranced. It's going to be a good time no matter when you come in, start to finish. Great music by Alan Silvestri. Just great film overall. John McTiernan directed classic. So absolutely phenomenal, top tier film. The best of the franchise still to this day. I think Prey gives it a pretty decent run for its money, but man, that Stan Winston costume, it can't fucking be beat. That's my Predator movie rankings, top 9. Well, since there's only 9 for now, I'm sure we're gonna get another one after Badlands. We fucking better be. So go watch it, please. Those are my rankings for the top Predator films of all time. Let me know what you guys think and what your ranking is, and I'll see you on the channel. Later, dudes.